All right, so welcome to Learning Peace in Pieces, episode 1. So this is a prep. I wanted to go through the Peace book and also my prep for the upcoming session. I'm going to prep it like I do many of my games that are actually, this will not use random seed generator, which is something I've been doing over the last 6 months with all of my games, especially the game we're writing and developing, Dark Age of Man. We use the random seed generator. It is part of the game system. This will not be. This will be in media res, prologue start, with Acts 1, Acts 2, Acts 3, and an epilogue. That's if they can, complete it, right? So I am writing an adventure, so to speak, for these guys, right? Okay. And right now, roughly titling it No Peace with Extortion. The intro will be in media res, challenging level. I want to talk about this. So this is what I love. He does a great job of giving us rules, but also great tools for the Game Master. He talks about outlining challenges, preparing the outline. Again, most successful GMs have a method to their madness of how they do this, but it's fantastic that he puts in here what you really want to think about. What is an outline? And then he talks about the challenges, that they need to be challenging enough that the heroes are indeed heroes. But what's really good here is he provides a chart. There's balancing combat challenges, note on impossible, and then the difficulty chart. So I have done exactly what he suggests for his game, and this is so important with a game system that I can't readily glance at and know that I'm over-challenging the heroes or I'm under-challenging. It would take you lots of heuristic play to find out what the math is in some of these game systems. So it's brilliant that our developer says, trust me, I've done the math. This is what you need to think about. Whether you like it or not, whether you like the idea of balancing encounters, whether you like the idea of it, it has to be in these game books. It has to be something written and put into these systems when we can't readily see that we may TPK a party when it was not intended, right? Or we over-challenge them and it's frustrating for the players. Or worse, it's too easy and it's boring. Okay, so he's done a brilliant job. So again, outline. This is an outline. And so I want the opening scene to be challenging because the goal of the opening scene is not to kill the heroes. It is to kidnap the elder's wife. Okay, so I have a goal that I'm trying to achieve as the Game Master in the first in media res start. It's going to start with them being awakened in a camp along a river, the river outside of Mirn. I think Mirn is the main river. This will be a small camp on that river just north of the city of Surreal, right? And it will start with them, standing in the middle of this muddy camp, fighting for their lives against these thug raiders who are ultimately there not to kill them, but to kidnap the elder's wife. And you'll find out why, right? So rounds 1 through 3 is to occupy the players with these thugs. And again, because I want this to be challenging, he tells me what we need per hero and then gives an example. Brilliant. So I know that I need roughly 8 minions per PC, or I need 2 thugs and 2 thugs per PC, right? So I need to create those to keep them occupied. Rounds 1 through 3 is my only goal. I just want to get through 3 rounds, and at the 4th round, they're going to have to be, I'll ask them to make perception checks to see if they spot a group of them carrying off the elder's wife into the woods, away from the river. If they fail that check, they won't find out until after the fight. They'll have to finish this fight. There will be a mass retreat that ought to cue them, right, that they've won. Now, whether they realize that they are going to be in pursuit or not will be whether they perceive it. If not, they'll find out from the elder that his wife was abducted. Round 6, all the raiders will run away. There we go, right? So that is prologue. That is in media res. They're going to find out how combat works right out of the gate. Okay, Act 1, rescue my wife. This is where they'll find out why they've taken the elder's wife. They didn't take anybody else, just the elder's wife. And that's because there's rumor that he knows where there's a stash of shards, right? Is it true? Is it not true? I have the question. Yes, it is, of course. He's found it years ago. Okay, then that would be, what do you want to do? Do you want us to go hunt her down? Do you want us to go deliver the shards? Whatever. That'll be whatever happens with the PCs. PCs will decide all this stuff, right? Now, again, Act 2 would be a larger problem. This is where they'll discover that the shards are necessary to pay for a mercenary army, right, to take over a town along the river that would be a defensive. Again, these will be fictional small towns that aren't necessarily outlined in this book. Okay, and then finally it could lead them to Cyril, which would be the chieftain, the head of the entire operation, trying to achieve his goals, right? And Cyril is one of the towns outlined in the book. So there's my brief 5-act structure, right? But what I love is this is so important for games like this. I've never been one in OSRs or D&D to worry about balance. I grew up, you just don't worry about it. If they wander into a cavern with a giant dragon and they want to face the dragon, they're going to probably die, etc., etc. But this isn't old D&D. This is not the OSR. This is not that kind of game. So it is so important that we are provided this. Use it is what I have to say about that, right? Organizing NPCs. Right. Okay, I want to get to the next phase of this. So then we have, of course, the outline. And I'm going to start the prophecy meter probably a little on the dark side. I'm probably going to start it at 7 or 8. Okay, so I'm not going to roll it. I'm going to start it at a particular place. There's our deeds and our consequences chart. I'll talk about that later when I use it. I can't find it. The map. Shoot. Oh, here it is. So I'm setting it. I'm setting the in media res start right out along this mountain river area here in what's called the Endless Plains along the river. It'll be a fictional small camp and village, right? The organizer of the entire operation will reside as a guild master or something in Cyril, which is a dark. And then again, this is brilliant how he outlines Cyril, right? What Cyril's about, how it's dark, swampy. It is the armpit of the world. It is where the goblins reside in mass, etc., etc. Very, very cool. And again, hopefully our session will lead the characters to adventures in and around Cyril, right? Okay. Now I want to get to the NPCs. So I will use this for the thugs. The human dark-touched bodyguards will be for the thugs. I will use the minions, human dark-touch minion of cultist. However, they will not have powers, so to speak. They will just be minions with swords and no armor, etc. Then I'll have the 2 thugs. This will be the in media res NPCs I use. Right. Again, they don't have to be exactly this, but the stat blocks I will use minus magic for the cultist, right? And then, of course, the guildmaster. I think I marked the guildmaster. Yeah, human merchant guildmaster. I will change this to a goblin in Cyril for the guildmaster. Again, most likely they won't be able to assault him and to take him out physically, but they might be able to negotiate or do something else to thwart his plans. And again, I don't expect the first session to resolve this whole adventure. It's going to launch our campaign, and then that campaign will start out with their first major problem. This guy with a grand scheme, right? That's the setup. So anyway, in teaching piece, or I won't say teaching, excuse me, learning piece, I was thrilled to see this chart because, again, this game utilizes a system that is utterly unique, and the math is utterly unique, and therefore we need to know what we're throwing into our scenes. And because I am going to treat this like D&D 5e, where we're running a module or we're running adventures, it's important to have this stuff figured out. They'll be a little underpowered in mine, because I won't have as many as it recommends, because the goal is for them to only hold for 1 to 3 rounds. That's all they have to hold. So it's not like I'm trying to defeat them. It's not like the introduction is literally about holding on for 3 rounds until they can abscond with the elder's wife. Okay, so it doesn't have to be something that actually is going to a final end where all 24 are dead, right? All 24 of the bad guys die, right? Anyway, and then I do have a time system, 1 to 3 rounds. On the 4th round, this can happen. On the 6th round, they all will run. What's left of the raiders will run away into the woods. And then, of course, from here, they can try to track them, or they can pursue them if they've seen this. But it will lead into Act 1, rescue my wife, the elder, right? So we'll have a fade 2, fade up, boom, right? Okay, so that's how I'm going to be doing my outline, and now I'll flesh it out with names, details, And then, of course, if they pursue into the woods, it'll lead them to a particular stronghold, camp, that will have hopefully some challenges and answers. They'll learn of the larger problem, hopefully in that camp. That will point them in the direction of Cyril, the city of Cyril, and this lieutenant level enemy that has got larger plans for that area, right? And that's this gist of it. But again, I really appreciate books that teach this. It gives the NPC ability types, right? Descriptions, the Gamemaster portion of the book. We've already gone over character creation twice. I've done 2 videos on character creation, so I don't need to learn that, right? I don't need to do another video learning that or sharing that. Now, my next video, I will talk about combat and how I'm going to prepare the combat. I have no idea how it'll go because dice decide everything, and what players choose to do decide everything. And then from there, I will talk a little bit about the use of maps and minis, which I normally do not do. So that'll be fascinating how much of that we do on game night. Okay, thank you for watching. Good day.